Democratic mayor, the mayor of Madison, Wisconsin, touts the success of blue cities, of cities run by Democrats. Most big cities are run by Democrats, aren't they? Yeah, she's got a little different definition of success, and that's why I'm looking in air quotes twice in a row there. I mean, we're going to talk about success. Let's get into it. Here we go. Democratic mayor touts the success of blue cities. Anyone who pays even the slightest attention to the news these days could tell you that large portions of America, particularly in the larger cities, are in decline. Crime rates continue to rise. Businesses are closing. The streets and mass transit systems are more dangerous, and neighborhoods are being overrun by illegal immigrants. But the mayor of Madison, Wisconsin, begs to differ. She was rolled out at a press conference ahead of last night's debate to act as a surrogate for the Democratic Party. She argued that quite the opposite is true, and America is not a country in decline under Joe Biden. No, we're not saying that the whole country's under decline. We're just saying that Democratic cities are. Most of them. And the states and cities that are not in decline typically can be found in Republican-run states or cities. That's where all the business is going. That's where all the population is going. It's not going into Chicago. It's not going into San Francisco. It's not going into LA. It's going away. And we know this is a fact. And to prove it, she suggested, come to cities. All right, come to cities. Well, I mean, that is an argument, but it doesn't make any sense at all. She continued her grammatically challenged defense, saying that Democratic mayors all across the nation are creating great places where people want to be. So, okay, then. Thanks for the update, Mayor Rhodes Conway. We'll make a note of that. Duly noted. All right. She is the mayor of a Democratic-run city. And, let's take a quick peek at Milwaukee. This is where Milwaukee, the thing was being held that she was talking at. It had 27 people shot and 4 killed the prior weekend. All right, so that's kind of just a small glimpse of a Democratic-run city. Let's look at hey Jackass. Let's look at Chicago, another prime example. August, so far, just in August, right? Shot and killed, 49. Shot and wounded, 183. Total shot, 232. Total homicides, 52. Come to the cities, Chicago, where every 2 minutes, 47 seconds, a person is shot. Come to the cities. Come to Chicago because every 13 minutes and 7 seconds, a person is murdered. But, come to the cities because we want you to experience that. Yeah, come to the cities. Huh. Well, there's that, right? Yeah. I don't mean to, deviate you from the message that we're getting here that, the Democratic cities are really doing well and, they've got no issues. I don't want you to be distracted by that. Let's keep going. I would suggest that anybody who thinks this country is in decline, come to the cities because Democratic mayors all across the nation are creating great places where people want to be. Where growth is happening and where our economy is growing. This is some real nonsense. This is talking to people who don't read the news, right? I mean, that's who she's talking to. Because if you read the news at all, you just wouldn't believe this because it's simply not true. It's just complete nonsense. The vast majority of these cities, these blue-run cities, are not doing that great, period, right? You've got out-migration. So this is not a nation in decline. This is a great nation, and it's made up of cities and people all across America again, and president and vice president are fighting for every day. Sounds like Karine Jean-Pierre. That woman is not bright, right? Not bright. She is not smart. She can't work her way out of a paper bag. Rhodes Conway touted the success of her town of Madison that she said is driving the growth of the state of Wisconsin. Some people were impolite enough to point out that the debate was being held in Milwaukee. That's a city run by Democrats where 27 people were shot just last weekend. Yeah, there's that. But, come to the cities. Come to the cities anyway. Man, here in Seattle last weekend, we had 2 mass shootings. I think 3 people were murdered, something like that. I mean, yeah, come to the cities. Let's find out what it's all about. Things are spicy. Let's watch the video. Yeah, you'll want to see this. This is good.
So I would suggest that anybody thinks that this country is in decline, come to cities. Because Democratic mayors all across the nation are creating great places where people want to be, where growth is happening, and where our economy is growing.
How she says that with a straight face, I do not know. What version of success is she talking about? I mean, because I look at it and go, the statistics would say otherwise. I read story after story after story, specifically of blue run cities that are just going wildly sideways. Most recent article that I haven't podcasted yet, city with the slowest return to the downtown core, is, you would think it would probably be San Francisco, right? Workers going back, employees going back, businesses going back to the downtown core. You would think that it was San Francisco. Nope. It's the city of brotherly love. It's Philadelphia. And one of the main reasons is because they have an employee tax of almost 4%. So you've got these anti-business Democrat-run cities, and now you've got this real opposition to return to the office. Nobody wants to do that. Recent poll, 87% of all employees that are working remotely now don't want to go back to the office, and they don't even want to go back 1 or 2 days, which is the option. But even Zoom is saying, we need to have people back in the office. Our technology is good, but there's a lot of collaboration that happens when we're in the office, and that doesn't happen when we're all working remotely and, working. So nobody wants to go back. I get it. Nobody wants, they've had their taste of freedom. They don't want to go back. But in a city like Philadelphia, where you've got extra layers, and we're not even talking about Kensington Avenue, which is just wildly overrun with trank dope, right? You're seeing more and more stories about that, and you're probably seeing it more and more in your local markets because it has exploded from just being a Philadelphia drug to both the East Coast and the West Coast. And I talked about that, I don't know, maybe 9 months ago, somewhere in there, sometime. Trank dope. It's a thing. And it's just, at the injection site, oftentimes you'll have skin rot and people have to have, their hand, their leg, their foot amputated because they're taking drugs that are meant for large animals. Yeah, you've got that going on. So, all right. So, this is what the Democratic mayors are saying. They're saying, hey, the doom loop, that's not true. We're thriving. And then the data just says something wildly else, right? Wildly else. Now, you do have growth in some of these cities, but the vast majority of them are going the wrong way. And we see it in the statistics. Nobody is moving into San Francisco. Not in large scale numbers. You've got an out-migration going on. Portland, mass out-migration. You've got people in Portland that want to leave Portland, a Democratic-run city. You want to talk about a Democratic-run city that's been run poorly. Portland is your poster child. You've got people that want to leave Portland that can't because their city has been so poorly run that then now they can't sell their house. They've got homeless encampments to the point where it's not marketable neighborhoods. I've talked about that multiple times on this podcast. I have given exact stories of people talking about, this is terrible. Oh, the homeless people down there. People drive up to our house and they see the for sale sign. They see the homeless encampment across the street and they don't even get out of the car. They won't even get out of the car. They won't even consider it. They cancel last minute. They don't even want to see it. What am I going to do? That's the news story. That's what's going on. Not, we're thriving so much that everybody wants to move here. Now they're trying to get out, trying to move to Florida, trying to move to Texas, trying to move to Arizona, although Arizona is pretty hot, right? Texas is pretty hot. Yeah. Crazy stuff. Yeah. Out migration. And there's so many examples of that. When a mayor like this comes on board and just makes those statements, you just realize, okay, yeah, nothing is true. Everybody is lying. The media is wildly tilted one direction. And to have somebody legit come on a big stage and say that, you're like, what are you smoking? I want that. Is that legal? Whatever you got, I want some. Because, you're dealing on a major scale there with some pretty wonky facts that aren't true, that simply are not true. So if you want to believe those, go for it. But I think the rest of us see that the emperor is wearing no clothes. And give me a Democratic-run city that is just thriving. Give me one that, doesn't have stats going in the wrong direction. Give me one. I'd love to throw out one. There probably is one, and I'll talk about it. But until that happens, the vast majority of the stories that I read kind of go the other way, right? Go the other way. And businesses continually leaving blue cities, blue states for other areas where they don't have the anti-business rhetoric, where they don't have the massive amounts of governmental layers of just nonsense to get your business, number one, up and running, and then to keep your business going. Most folks, they just think, well, you can tax businesses all day long and it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Well, now businesses have the opportunity and the option to pick up and leave. We're seeing another one in San Francisco, another big company. They've been quietly shutting down there's a tech company. I can't remember the name of it. They've been quietly shutting down their leases. Yeah, I just don't think we need all this space anymore. Yeah, we got that work from home thing going on. And yeah, we're going to get out of San Francisco. We're going to take our business and we're going to move somewhere else. Probably Texas. Texas has the most pro-business and Florida, but I think Texas is ahead of the game there. And you've got inexpensive real estate. You've got all the reasons people are leaving, especially people that are reasonable. You want to stay in the blue states? You want to stay in the blue cities? All right, go for that. But don't lie to me and tell me that they're thriving. Yeah, not the case. I would not say that Seattle is thriving. I would say that Seattle has some of its stuff under control. But it's got some massive, massive issues, like a homeless encampment. This is probably the third podcast in a row I've talked about this, that has 80,000 cars whizzing by it on a daily basis in Seattle, just went up in flames because one of its convicted felon drug dealers, who's, got a rap sheet a mile long, he set the encampment on fire. And meanwhile, 80,000, Seattleites are whizzing by, going into downtown, off and on from I-5. And the city won't sweep it. You've got stuff like that going on that I don't know if you know this. It doesn't scream, come to the city. Hey, go to the burbs in Seattle, but come to the city? No, hard no-go. Hard no-go. I would say hard no-go on that. But if you want to, for excitement, if you just want to see what Chicago has to offer and, shot and killed 49 in August, and we're not even, what are we, the 25th today? We got another week to go here. Anything could happen. Shot and wounded, 183. Total shot, 232. Total homicides in August, 52. Yeah, that really screams come to the cities, doesn't it? Yeah. And I know this is one of the worst examples, but Atlanta, you got some nonsense going on there. You got some craziness going on there. LA, you want to talk about mobs going into department stores and just stealing stuff left and right because you've had Proposition 47. That doesn't exactly scream, hey, come to the cities. Let's do some shopping. Let's go shopping at Nordstrom. Let's go shopping at Gucci. And those stories don't scream that, do they? No, they scream quite the opposite. But if you want to believe that, I'd say, yeah, go for it, but I'll be here on News for Reasonable People talking about news for reasonable people. Thanks for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.